Say hi to everybody, guys. Hi.
There's a little ticking noise. All right, it's gone.
Is it gone? Welcome back, everybody. We'll get started here in just a second. It's like,
Anytime you see the baby shark,
yeah,
you know something good is happening.
something great's happening. Oh, careful with your phone.
I just got enlightened to what the baby shark is all about.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, my man just told me about it.
What's it all about? Don't leave us hanging. I mean, you're just going to tell us what the baby
Nah,
shark's all about?
the I call it a walk on. The guy that came onto the team and he introduced it to everybody with the song or
Para?
whatever. Yeah, Par.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the same
Yeah.
name as our athletic director over at Bullets. Yeah, Par. Him. And it just started growing from there. From
Yeah.
19 and 31 it was at the time.
I mean, come on. You're like, you love it. I mean,
I'm a big basketball guy, so yes, I'm following the Nats, but somebody had to enlighten me to the little behind the scenes
Nuances.
stuff. Yeah, the nuances. Yeah.
they're in the championship. And best of 7 series in hockey, best of 7 NBA, best of 7 baseball. Game 1 of the championship series. It's going to be fun. They're in the championship, man. That's like for DC sports.
Absolutely.
It doesn't happen very often, although it's happening in a tight space with the Caps, Mystics, Castles have
Ken,
some titles. I
you,
think,
you remember I'm the
recently.
guy that
I know.
in the Stanley Cup I was calling them Hotsky and
You were on board.
and the hyphenated black dude with the gap in his teeth. You know what was his name?
What were you calling him? It was Devontae Smith-Pelly. but
Yes,
You were calling him something else. And I'm not
black
sure.
dude.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We're joined tonight by somebody who is very familiar with winning at the highest level.
Absolutely.
Before we keep doing our nonsense, make sure we let everyone know who's all of a sudden associated with our nonsense for one Tuesday night. Mike Jones, head coach, DeMatha Catholic, 4-time gold medal winner, Team USA basketball at multiple levels, involved in a lot of winning. Thanks for being down here with us tonight.
No, thank y'all for having me.
No, it's great to have Mike in the basement, man. Me and Mike go way back. We've been battling since we were.
We got a long way back to go.
Yeah.
That towel, you can't see it because of the towel, but
I don't have to tell my age. You can see it in the grays in my beard, but
It's a young-looking towel, though. Actually, that towel is old.
we've been battling each other since 9-10 years old on the AAU circuit. AAU is way different now than it was back then, but we used to go head up as young kids, and then it's a beautiful thing with the game of basketball it does, and we stayed battling all the way through college. He went to Old Dominion and did big things there, and I was at James Madison back when both teams were in the Colonial. So we had, and that's our biggest rival. So we had big nights in the Scope, back in the Norfolk Scope and JMU Convocation Center. So, by the way, my mother
Did
said
he ever
hello
pass
to
you, by the way? Did you get a lot of passes from him?
No, we were always
They-
battling.
we call
We
it-
were
But
on
you guys
our
played
team.
together. When you guys played together,
We call it
If he stole one of my passes, then yeah.
It was a turnover.
what'd you call him?
Turnover.
I did a lot of my passing to the rim now, Ken. I don't know. If he goaltended one of them,
Actually,
Okay.
Hey.
I did goaltend you because I told you this happened. He stole the ball from me in the CAA championship,
Yep.
like a half court, and then went in and thought he was gonna have an easy layup. And
He
it
skied.
was goaltending, but I have a picture of me blocking the shot. It looks like I can jump pretty high.
very athletic. Very athletic.
So
I believe it. He got behind this table. It was very tough. There's
For
a lot
all
of
y'all
cords
out
around
there,
here.
Mike
He's agile.
Jones was a very athletic basketball player. Very athletic. And could shoot it too.
Well, in charge of some very athletic players, coaching in the WCAC and for obviously the DeMatha program, returning a lot of guys, but also it's a program that's enjoyed a hell of a lot of success. So congratulations, obviously, on that.
thank you.
I guess, but one of the questions I'll ask Coach is about just again coaching in the league. When we T and Kevin and Darren and I show up to broadcast games and talk about what you guys are up to, I don't know. We like to focus on the history of it. I guess how much of that is being incorporated into what you're up to at DeMatha? Because there's just so much awesome history.
Well, I think in order to truly embrace our culture of the school, like you have to know the history. So, fortunately enough for us throughout the year, guys come back and it allows us the opportunity to share stories and things like that with them.
There's some halfway decent players that have come
Yeah, I
through
mean,
there.
they're
You know,
okay.
they're all right.
They're okay. And then the majority of our coaching staff are also DeMatha graduates that played there. So
There's some halfway decent coaches from the history. Yeah, halfway decent.
okay. But the bottom line is we get so many opportunities to talk about our school's history, our program's history with them. And in order for them to truly understand what they're representing and what they're carrying on, we have to do those things with them. So
we're gonna give your
talk about history,
call.
Ken.
Yeah.
I just saw a post recently where it says something like 48 out of the last 50 years in the NBA, there has been a DeMatha Stag represented in the NBA. That's incredible. They are currently
tied for number 2.
Yeah, tied for number 2 for the
who's number
high
1?
school programs that
Oak Hill.
yeah.
But it's different.
makes
No
sense.
Tied
offense,
for number 2.
no offense to
as
Oak
the
Hill,
high
but
schools
our kids
representing.
go to DeMatha.
There's probably some kids who
Those
play for
3
both
letters.
those schools.
Just a couple. Just
That's
one.
an incredible feat.
But the bottom line is, like, and again, Oak Hill, they serve their purpose for guys that need that.
Yep.
But our kids, for the most part, go to our school for 4 years. They
Yep.
live at home with mom and dad. They travel to and from our school every day. So in terms of representing true high schools, real high schools, we feel like that's who we are. Oak Hill and the Montbirds and the, formerly Findlay Prep, schools like that, they represent something different than what we do. So,
Poke your chest out, Mike, and rightfully so.
yeah, well,
It was started by the great Morgan Wooten, and you carried it on and continue the standard of excellence. And I'd like to tell you, from friend to friend, I'm very proud of what you're doing, and year in and year out, DeMatha Stags basketball is putting a great product on the floor. It's must-see TV. It's the best of the best, and you're in for a dogfight, and you're in for 32 minutes of high-level elite basketball. So
So
it doesn't get any better than that.
have we waited long enough for me to be able to play favorites? Everyone's like, don't play favorites. I'm like, I play favorites. It just turns out like everyone's my favorite, but one of my real favorites, Earl.
Cornbread Earl and me.
Fun to watch.
Yeah.
When we cover games, we always want to. We get a lot of chances to bring his name up, a lot of chances to cover him. So what are some things we should be saying? What are some things about going on for him?
well, when you talk about Earl Timberlake, toughness immediately comes to mind. He is, and people kind of look at me kind of sideways a little bit when I say this, but I mean he's clearly the toughest player I've ever coached. Like I don't think there's another person that I would even consider to be in the same caliber of him in terms of toughness, mentally
awesome.
and physically. And the fact that he is such a hard worker on the court, in the classroom, he sets a great example. Like Earl's the type of young man that you want him to have more fun, or at least show that
Sure.
he's having more fun. You want him to smile.
He looked like he was having fun.
He
couple
has
times.
so many different facial expressions.
Yeah.
None of them was a smile. Like, I mean, he's
Yeah.
just about his business.
True warrior.
Yeah, about his business. And, I feel as though, as his career progresses, like he's going to be one of those guys that we'll be talking about for a long time.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's what it looks like. He's playing on a court that's smaller than regulation. He makes it. He makes. I feel. Wait, did they draw the lines up right whenever he's got the ball?
Ken, I'd like to add to that because I've seen Earl since he was in middle school, and I've been watching him. And when he was younger, he's more of a enforcer type. He just inflict his will on his opponent, and now I'm starting to see, his skill set. I'm starting to see his jumper evolve. I'm starting to see his ball handling skills evolve, and that's what you like when you see the before, and now you're starting to see the after take place. It's it's really fun to watch, and if you have that foundation as a warrior, and then your skill set catches up with your intensity and in your body too. It's the sky's the limit for that kid, and he's a lefty, so lefties are always hard to guard.
Well, I think the biggest thing for Earl is like, and literally you'll see that this season, he can play the 1 through the 5,
Yeah,
and for us, he will play the 1 through the 5. Like he literally will go games where he will play every single position on the floor in the same game, and that versatility you just don't find in every player. So.
Well, what I always find interesting about some of the WCAC programs is that some of these schools you have a lot of you need a lot of multi-sport boys at a lot of these local schools to be able to be competitive all year round. DeMatha can roll out a starting 5. None of which are multi-sport. A lot of them you can do that, but you also do have great multi-sport guys on your roster. So I was going to ask you talk about some of those guys that are on your bench this year.
So
and
we don't know who's going to be on our bench because
Okay.
we haven't picked our team yet.
Okay.
But
I mean the whole bench, the whole time, the whole section. But go ahead.
yeah, we have 2 freshmen this year that are on varsity football at DeMatha.
Okay.
That
they've got to be incredible athletes, huh?
Yeah, and I can say today, they'll be definitely in the discussion to make the varsity basketball
Okay.
team as well. So, and those 2 young men, Kalen Cobb, wide receiver on the football field,
Yep.
and a wing in basketball, and then Jason Moore, Justin Moore's brother,
Yeah.
is a defensive end in football. I think he's going to start this week against Good Counsel, as a freshman, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
But then he
Keziah
also
banged up.
no.
You got talent. You got a lot of talent on that defensive line.
He's earned the right to be on the field.
Yep.
I don't want to speak for Coach McGregor or the football coaches, but I mean I've heard them talk about how excited they are about him and his potential as a football player.
Get him
And
on the field.
I'm equally as excited about him as a basketball player.
That's awesome. That's cool. That to me, that to be able to go straight from, for example, football season into basketball season. Last year there was some lacrosse players who showed up in basketball and football as well.
I mean, it's pretty cool. Like right now, Kellen Taylor is at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, and he committed to play football and basketball at Duquesne when he left DeMatha, and through his junior year last year, played both football.
That's
and
awesome.
basketball.
Is that Cam's brother?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and he's one of the few athletes in America in college sports that play both football and basketball.
Kenny's gonna do it next year at Howard. I know it's Kenny Womack.
Yeah.
That'll be fun to see.
At least that's the word.
That's the word. That's the word.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
That's not an easy thing to do.
It is not.
No, exactly.
not.
You can go into it with
Sure.
plans to do both, but that's not
being
easy.
in junior year all the way in at Duquesne, you have a track record. Kenny has to actually do it
you
for us
gotta
to
actually do
talk
it.
about him doing
Ken,
it. But yep,
Mike
that's
just
going on.
mentioned Earl Timberlake playing the 1 through the 5.
Yep,
That's versatility at its finest.
you can bring on the one of the
let's
the
call
five.
him 5 man.
Yeah, let's call him up.
All right, it's my young fella.
As the Nats are cruising, we'll get you out of here for the 6th, I'm sure.
Is this hooked up?
Yeah, you're
I'm gonna
hooked
call
up. Dude,
Hunter
come on.
Dickinson.
This is a top-notch basement operation.
This is DeMatha's starting center. He's a top 30 kid in the class. He has just recently narrowed his Final Four down to Florida State, Notre Dame, Duke. Let me get it right, and Michigan.
Okay.
So I know a lot of the nation is, anxiously waiting his decision. We're not gonna poke the bear. We're not gonna ask, but I just want to give him a call.
Yeah, let's call him up. Let's see what he's up to. I hope he's got his. He better have all of his homework done first. That's
You
a,
got
that's
that right.
turn that down.
Turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hunter,
What's up, Coach?
what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good.
You're live right now on
Welcome.
on the First Amendment Sports High School preview show. We've got your head coach.
And Hunter, you're gonna tell everybody you have your homework done, correct? And you're
Yes.
actually in bed, and you're just picking your phone up, and as soon as you're done, you're gonna hang it up, and you're gonna get some good rest, right?
No, I'm watching the Nats game right
Well,
now.
all right. I
Watching
guess
the Nats. That's
Yes,
what I'm talking
of
about.
course you are. Of course you're watching
I
the Nats
can't even
game.
complain about that.
Hey, Hunt, we've been talking about some multi-sport athletes at DeMatha, and I think that you would have been a great pitcher, great pitcher.
Or
But
soccer player.
A goalie, maybe.
Okay, all right.
Actually, I was a pitcher. I played
Oh, you did
my
pitch.
yeah, I played sixth and eighth grade, but I actually really liked baseball, but I was just unable to continue playing because I just had to dedicate all my spring to spring basketball, which was very
Very
like
taxing.
very
Yeah.
yeah very big in my life.
I'm sure there are a million kids in the 7th and 8th grade who are thankful not to be looking at a fastball coming from a 7 footer off the mound. So I'm sure on behalf of them, I say thank you.
Now,
Yeah, I was pretty good too. Not gonna lie.
yeah. I can imagine. And I coached you back when you were in the 6th grade, as you remember, and
Yep.
I followed you when you were at Mater Day, and then I've been following you, especially with Team Takeover and what you've been doing on the AAU scene, and also with DeMatha. So, I know my producer Ken has a couple questions for you.
I've never produced. Well, I've never been a producer for a single day.
You're the producer. You're the guy.
Come on.
You make this all
I don't know
happen. So
what you're talking about. I just sit in this chair and we call people and talk about basketball. No, but Hunter. So I appreciate having you on. We love covering you guys. I wanted to ask you, because you play against just top competition and all over the place. Wherever you go, tournaments, camps, whatever you're up to, AAU regular, you're just playing against top notch. I wanted to kind of ask you about how you compare that to the night in, night out play in the WCAC when you get into that section of the season.
I think it's pretty different, but it's got some similarities and some differences. I think some major similarities are that just the coaching. I think in the EYBL and WCAC, the coaching is just really, really great. Each coaching staff in the two leagues really takes their job super seriously
yeah.
because it's like it's their livelihood. Those two leagues. So I think the coaching and just like the preparation that they give us, especially for takeover, for each session, especially Peach Jam, Coach Keith will have scouting reports for us. We'll watch film. Like it's just like a WCAC season where like they have you just as prepared. I think the difference is definitely in the WCAC you're playing against the best of the best in the DMV, but in terms of the EYBL, you're playing against the best of the best around the country. So that's
Mhm.
or actually even in Canada they got Canadian teams. So playing against some of the best people in the North America. So that's just probably the biggest difference. You get to see different people and different players.
But are those guys going home and playing against the level of competition you are when you come back home to this area?
Oh, it's definitely more. It helps you out a lot because playing especially for me as a big man, I'll go and play teams from around the country. Everybody has about like a 6'10" or above, so I get to play against people my size, which I appreciate. But then when I come back to WCAC play, there's less tall people. So I mean, it helps
Mhm.
me. It just helps me stay sharp with my skills playing against taller people, which helps me. Then it's easier putting a left-hand hook over a 6'6" guy than a 6'10" guy. So it helps me just develop my skills more.
Mhm. That's interesting. And Hunter, I know that it's been a long, recruiting process and this. Now, I'm not going to ask you where you're going or which, to narrow it
He's
down
going to
anymore.
Old Dominion University. He wants to follow in his coach's
He
steps.
still has to
You
wait
know,
for some
a
laws and
lot,
regulations to pass. Who knows what states are going to be, ponying up the dollars for these guys?
a lot
Yeah.
of Duke Nation, Florida State, ACC Nation is vying for your skills and your services over the next couple years. But one of my things is, how have you embraced this recruiting process? Because it started really early for you, because you're one of the most celebrated and highly recruited. You were one of the most celebrated and highly recruited middle school players.
hmm
Every high school wanted your service. So this isn't really new to you, but how how have you embraced it? Have you leaned on your family? Leaned on some close friends or your siblings to go through this process?
I think definitely the college recruiting process has been very fun for me.
Uh-huh.
You only get it to experience it once, so I've tried to just take that mindset and enjoy it as much as possible. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I was recruited as an eighth grader for high school and also college. I mean, playing with Takeover, we were able to make it to Peach Jam as an eighth grade team playing
Yep.
15 and under. So
Yep.
we were playing in front of college coaches. They were already able to see me play, and some coaches reached out to Coach Keith and expressed their interest in me. But that was probably like I was still focused on trying to make a high school decision.
Yeah.
That was pretty
You still
hard in
wet behind the
itself.
ears, man.
Stressful
Yeah.
for an eighth grader.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty stressful having to balance both. But I think just picking a high school was probably very easy compared to college because for high school, I mean, like you're only it's less of a risk for in terms of just high school. You're going all like you pretty much know everything that's on the table.
Yep.
There's not too much unknown with college. There's a lot of unknown factors that you have to kind of prepare for, which can be pretty hard to do.
Right. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I'll let him get out of here, but
Yeah.
I was going to ask you as kind of like a just a quick hitter, favorite WCAC gym to play in, least favorite WCAC gym to play in, outside of your
I
own.
was I was just asked this yesterday actually by the kid Jake in the Paint, but I
Yeah,
really
my man, Jake Rosen.
I yeah, I love playing at PVI. I always love
Oh, and they're
having their
moving.
fans. Yeah, but they're not moving yet. We still get one more year. I love playing there.
You like that atmosphere,
Yeah.
huh?
Their fans are fun. Also, Gonzaga is also a great
Yep.
place. Their fans go crazy, but I mean,
Well, here's to
probably
hoping you enjoy playing in both of those gyms
Yes,
this year.
yes.
yeah. Those two gyms I enjoy playing in a lot. Those because
Okay.
their fans probably are the
Make it the
wild.
best.
Yeah, probably the wildest, and those are usually the two best teams beside us in the conference. So those two games are probably the biggest stage probably for in terms of away games for us.
Okay.
Okay. Well, listen, man, stay healthy and have fun, and we look forward to watching you play.
All right, thank you guys.
Hey man, get some rest. And you know what, Ken?
What's up?
Hey Hunter, am I right that are you the student body president?
Yes, yes.
Oh, student body, because he had his speech at one of our practices early, early on.
First of all, presidents give addresses. He had an address. is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
okay, whatever you call it. I never reached that
Presidential
level, so I
address.
don't know. It
Same.
looked like some chicken scratch on a piece of paper to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I heard that went over pretty good. You know, he was practicing in the gym over there.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm a pretty good speechwriter when it comes to that stuff.
all
I think
right. You're doing your thing on and off the court, which is
You know, you
is
probably
great.
should take a speech class to make sure.
That's like flexing. Some
I actually had to
speech
memorize
swag.
a speech for that speech
Oh,
class.
pretty good. He's gonna be doing a lot of interviews. You know,
You need to
from
get
here
the
on
camera.
out,
That's
and
a
he's
lot
been
of.
doing a lot of
You
interviews.
need to get
So.
the wide angle.
So Hunter's in
Yeah.
my
Turn it
speech.
sideways.
Hunter's in my speech class.
Oh, for real?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So once again,
oh,
he's
great answer. Great
throwing
answer, young man. Great
credit
answer.
to the teachers and the coaches. You can't lose. That's
Yeah.
extremely smart.
But yeah, man. Good night, man. Say hello to your family for me, and you know, we're gonna be supporting you all year long and in the future.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Okay, bye.
All right. See you.
All right. This is when now you can talk about him all you want. No one's even watching anymore. People are hanging out. No.
Great young man.
He's fun.
Very well spoken.
So we'll get. We got. I know everyone who's hanging out with us. There's a couple people on are also. Everyone's watched the Nets, obviously, and it's a situation now where we got the lead.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk a little bit about Team USA?
Yes, I do. First, and before we go into the Team USA stuff, Mike is in a rare position. He has a dog on the ball, and he has a 7-footer in the hole. That's a tough combination. You know what I mean? And we
It
haven't
helps.
even talked about
Helps a
the
lot.
young fella Tyrell Ward. You know, he's a lengthy wing that has loads and loads of potential. And then he just got a transfer in from Gaithersburg High School, Jordan Hawkins. who is a lights out shooter and slasher, athletic.
So you're saying DeMatha's gonna have good players?
As usual.
Yeah, as usual.
You know what I mean? So
shocker. Spoiler
so,
alert. Hey guys, spoiler alert. If
you
you're
know,
gonna
he-
watch the DeMatha season, don't worry. They're
he's-
awesome. They have really awesome
he's
players.
got a good problem on his hands, as he does every single year. You know, there's a lot of talent in the gym. Lil E, they are, primed to be right there at the end.
Yep.
As they are every single year. So, it's gonna be exciting. And I keep saying that. Every episode, we have a coach in here, and it's just, across the board in that conference, it is gonna be exciting. It's a Tuesday night game, just like a Friday night game. It's the same intensity, and that prepares these kids for that next level.
Yep. Well, it's jockeying all the way to the WCAC tournament. I know there's basketball that happens after that, but it doesn't feel the same after that. But you know what I mean.
This guy never rests.
I know.
He's coming off a gold medal. Let's talk about that a little.
Let's
bit.
talk about that.
He's he just won his fourth. Congratulations, Mike! You just won
As
your
a head
fourth
coach?
gold medal. First as a head coach. 3 other gold medals between the 17U and 16U Team USA.
This one in
squads.
Brazil, right?
This one was in Brazil. His first as a head coach. He got the gold medal with the 16U mob. They're loaded every year. Just got back from the mini camp, Team USA mini camp. With the likes of your Trevor Keels and your Doug McDaniels and the best of the best in the country. So, do you ever get to rest, Mike?
No, well, rest. It depends on what you consider that to be. Like, I enjoy it, so I'm not walking around here complaining about having to go to mini camp or practice, or our season starts in 2 weeks and 2 days.
Right.
I'm not complaining about that. Like, I'm ready to go. So it's a blessing that I will never, ever, ever disregard or take for granted. I'm being a coach is a very rewarding job, and I love every minute of it.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that who joined him out at the mini camp is Coach Steve Turner, another coach in the WCAC.
Yep.
So we're just well represented, across the country, and it's a testament of the kind of talent that we have right here in this, 25-mile proximity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I want to say something about that. Like, we are, like, we're spoiled in this area.
yeah.
From a player standpoint, but then also from a coach standpoint. Like, I'm honored to have the opportunity to coach with Coach Turner. Him being a part of our program, him helping to prepare us. Steve and I, like, we choke each other to death
Oh, yeah.
when we're playing. But Steve's career and my career have a lot of similarities. Him taking over for Coach Myers, me taking over for Coach Wooten. Him being at a school where the expectation level is through the roof, me being at a school the same thing. Like, there's so many similarities between us. So over the years, we've kind of grown to the point where, we may not like each other when we're competing, but we also have to respect the fact that we're probably more alike than we'd like to be. So, but we're not the only ones. Like, there's great coaches throughout this area,
Absolutely.
throughout our league. And, we also recognize that being a basketball coach is a thankless job, and it's nobody walking around. When we win, it's because your players are good. When we lose, it's our fault. Like, that's kind of what we signed up for. But we're very spoiled in this area that we have so much good basketball to watch all the time on all levels.
Yep.
It's just, again, I'm just honored to be a part of that.
I want to ask you a question about when you're in the WCAC, you know that night in and night out that you have to bring it. Do you ever find yourself in what they call a trap game? You know what I mean? Like a game where if you can get clipped up if you don't bring it that night, or is every night just it's got to be the same intensity, because you have to get these. Actually, you don't have to get these kids riled up, because the conference speaks for itself.
Right.
So as far as your I'm not in your locker room, but as far as your pep talk, it's not much, depending on who you're playing. But have you ever found yourself in a trap game?
So I would say no.
No.
I don't think there's a such thing as a trap game in our league. I do believe that there's lulls in your season
Okay.
that if you're paying attention,
Mm-hmm.
you can kind of see them coming, but you got to fight through them. So no, there's no game Tuesday that your team and yourself may overlook because you're worried about Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But you might, because it's such a grind, you might get to the middle of your season and there's a week and a half of games that your team is just dragging, and you gotta do
Oh,
something.
for sure.
Like, remind them that it's supposed to be fun. Like, do something to kind of take the tension off, and that's usually about a month or so before the playoffs start, because especially for seniors, they know like, hey, this is getting ready to come to an end, and we're all going to go our separate ways into college and
Yep.
play hopefully at the highest level in college.
Yep.
But like, this is pure basketball. We're going to be measured by this. Like at DeMatha, to be a great, like you got to be really good. Like you've got to win a lot of games to be a great at our school. And Hunter and Earl and Paul Smith, those guys, have been on varsity for so long.
I
And
forgot about Paul.
Donovan Miller and Anthony Perry, who were on our varsity team last year, that'll be seniors this year.
Yep.
Like they want to leave a legacy. They want to be remembered. And at some point in time during their senior season, like that finish line is going to be right over the horizon, and they're
Right.
going to really start to think about it. And kids behave differently. They react to that differently. Some guys are just like, hey, nose to the ground. There's the finish line. Let's get there so we can be on top. And some guys, it's scary.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is getting ready to be over. Like
Yeah.
I've been top dog. I've been on the top of the mountain, and everybody's been coming for me, and that's getting ready to change. And you don't want it to end. Like last year with Justin Moore, like I was emotional probably for the last month and a half of the season, because
Yeah.
that young man I've seen grow so much. And he's the all-time winningest player at DeMatha.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's beating out a whole lot of other great players. Like I didn't want to stop coaching him. Like I miss him every day. I miss all of our seniors every day.
Yeah.
Jameer Young coming in for 2 years and just becoming such a winner in our program and really leaving his mark and how important he was. Josh Wallace, like those guys, like, and I can go through every year. Devin Richmond and Mark Anthony and Xavier Mabry and Justin Gielan from the year before. Like these guys, like we have relationships while they're there, and it's a give and a take, and then we butt heads and things like that. But like all of my kids know, like I truly care about them, and I miss them to this day.
Yeah.
And as much as I'm able to communicate with them, like we were talking about James Robinson
Yep.
earlier. James Robinson, Jairus Lyles, and Cameron Taylor are all playing in the same league in Germany.
Yep.
Like I literally
That's cool.
missed by a day going to Germany this year to watch James Robinson and Cam Taylor's team play against each other, and then
Absolutely.
the next night watching Jairus play because I had an opportunity to speak in a clinic over there. So
Yep.
like these are things like James will tell you, Cam will tell you, like I missed them like so much, and shoot, they graduated in 2012.
Exactly.
So this is what
What is this? You're in year what? 17, 18?
a year a lot. I don't remember. I started in 2002 as the head coach. Been there
Yeah.
since '98. So whatever that is.
Yep.
So
Been there for a
Yeah.
while.
Well, Ken, before we get off of here, I just want to ask you really quick, what can we look forward to as far as your schedule is concerned? I know you all play in some big events. Y'all got Montverde.
yep.
What is that? The
December 12th
December 12th
at Montverde. It's a single game on ESPN.
on ESPN. Yes.
It's our schedule's crazy.
You all have the Christmas Classic, right?
Yeah, we have our
You're
Christmas
hosting.
Classic. This will be our second year of it.
Okay.
In the tournament will be Steph Curry's high school team from Charlotte.
Okay. That's
St.
great.
Stephen St. Agnes, who was probably the best team in the D.C. area this summer. Dunbar, Baltimore,
Yep.
Coach Booth, taking over the program there. We also have Riverdale Baptist, coached by our former Stag, Travis Lyons. We've got Canterbury School from Florida, who their head coach is Mike Hibbs. Everybody knows Mike Hibbs. Mike Hibbs was my freshman coach at DeMatha. A J.L. Mann from South Carolina, Mike Morrison, another local legend, played at Northwestern High School.
Shout out to Mike.
Yeah, Loyola of Baltimore,
Yes.
and played for the Phoenix Suns for a couple years. So,
Yep.
we like our tournament it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of competition, and but yeah, we play So we're playing that. We play Montverde in the middle of December. We're still trying to work out a couple of games in the Hoop Fest here. Who we're going to play. We play Rancho Christian, number one player in the country,
Yep.
Evan Mobley.
Yep.
On ESPN also. On Martin Luther King Monday, we play Simeon from Chicago, one of the toughest teams in the country. We'll play them. on
Master
Saturday.
Rob.
Where are you playing them?
At the Hoop Hall and
At Hoop Hall,
the
yeah.
Basketball Hall of Fame. We
Okay.
play Mater Day from California and the Cancer Research Classic in West Virginia.
With the Lion
So-
King.
A little revenge
Yeah.
on Trinity with those California teams taking it out on us
Listen,
in
that's
football.
a star-studded schedule. You know, you night in and night out. Yes, you have that WCAC, but you know you can't take a break when you go.
Yeah.
Your out of conference schedule is so tough. That's what's so challenging, and I'm really proud of the job that you're doing, and you know just keep it up, man, and
We
keep
try,
the
man.
tradition going, man.
We got so many, like we truly, like we're already working on next year's schedule.
Absolutely.
Like we're unofficially, I guess I can say, we're going to London next year. The Hoop Hall Basketball Hall of Fame from here is going to run a tournament in London. And,
Wow.
we're going to play in London next year. Like great opportunity for our kids.
We'd like to cover that.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. But I mean, it's just again, we're spoiled at DeMatha and the WCAC in this area. There's just so many good things about the game of basketball, and again, just to be a part of it, I'm very lucky, very blessed.
Rightfully so.
We'll be back. We have some awesome season preview episodes coming up from other schools. Look, we got the St. John's crew coming, I believe, next week, right?
Yep.
Scribner and Bean, and we got when's GJ coming on?
He'll be on in the next couple weeks.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
I have one quick knock it off before we go, man.
All right, let's go.
I got to bring back knock it off. It's been a few weeks, man, or a couple months before we did that.
Okay. You always now you have to do you have to read something? You have to hold anything
Man,
up to the microphone?
Listen, there's a St. Louis high school, private school. Let me get the name right. This is Cardinal Ritter College Prep.
Okay.
All right. They're currently 7-0. They just fired their entire coaching staff and canceled the rest of their football season
Okay.
for suiting up a player, a running back, that was suspended. Now, let me tell you what they did. The running back got suspended at the end of last season.
In his own
in
year?
the title game.
Was he wearing like someone else's jersey?
He's a junior,
Okay.
right? He got suspended in the title game of last season.
For doing what?
I don't know what
Okay.
the reason for the suspension was, but
Sounds pretty
he had to
harsh.
sit out one game. Game one, opening game of their season this year, he changed from number 24
Yes.
to number 4,
Smart. That's two totally different players.
right? Changed his name, had 109 yards,
Yeah.
had a 56-yard touchdown.
But which guy?
They won 32-21, right?
Okay.
He got player of the game,
Which one? Number 2 or number 24?
number 4.
Number 4 got player of the game.
Yeah,
Number
imaginary
24,
number
close
4.
second?
Right. So
Okay.
in the post-game interview, they did not bring the player on to the mic. So the coach was talking about how this young freshman has earned a spot, to be a regular, and he'll be when the real guy, 24, comes back. So now he's earned his minutes. He's gonna get some reps and some carries.
He cost himself a job.
Hey man,
That went to himself.
knock it off, Cardinal. Let me get
Cardinal
his name
Ritter.
right? Cardinal Ritter College Prep. Knock it off. And I'm gonna tell you what the kicker was.
There's a kicker.
Yes.
Okay.
He's tatted up.
We haven't
It's his
been kicked since
tattoos.
kicked.
So the highlights, and they were showing him making these runs and stiff arm.
He put his
Big
stats. Did he?
big tats on the arm.
Okay.
That's what ticked somebody off, and it waited till game 7.
So you're blaming the tattoos for a guy whose age we still haven't confirmed.
well,
he sounds like he's
they
probably
co-
like 36 years
It
old.
came out game 7 because he's been killing all season long, stiff arming with them same tattoos that he did in game 1.
That's Kevin Rick's plan, by the way. He's
Hey.
going to try to get back into high school sports.
Knock it off, Cardinal Ritter's coaching staff, athletic director, and all of the above.
All right. You have anyone you need to tell to knock it off this week?
Hey, nah,
You're gonna save it up.
That's bad enough.
All right.
That's terrible.
Well,
That's terrible. And my towel's back.
well, you are properly toweled up finally. It's
Hey,
been
Mike,
kind of weird.
you
for a
brought the
while.
towel back, man. You
Hey,
brought
man.
the towel back.
John
All right,
Thompson.
You and Hunter.
Until next Tuesday night, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. He's Froghorn Leghorn.
Hey, it's great to get some stuff off my chest with my
Mm-hmm.
man back from Allentown and Kingman days. You know, we've been battling for a long time, and it's great to see him doing exactly what I expect him to do, and that's teaching great basketball and staying in the game.
He is the head coach of the DeMatha Catholic Stags, Coach Mike Jones.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Tim Strachan.
One DeMatha, he says. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo, and this was the First Amendment Sports Season Preview, Episode 3, Mike Jones.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. I'll turn this off up there.
You got it?
We're off on the audio, but...
To everybody, my hat is backwards so you can see my good